Welcome to the Black Duck Revival Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Wilkins. I'm excited to have you join me as I speak with a fascinating collection of folks, all of whom have in common that they've made a way for themselves by finding an intersection between thoughtful consideration and the tactile work of getting their hands dirty. This is an examination of intention, capability, and craft. It's where philosophy meets the blue-collar work ethic and where I find real value. Welcome back to the Black Duck Revival Podcast. This week, I am so happy and I feel so privileged to be able to introduce you to a really phenomenal songwriter and artist and human being by the name of Kevin Kerby. Kerby is like a Little Rock institution. You know, for my money, he kind of set the bar as far as songwriting, you know, specifically lyricism in this town, in this state, in this part of the country. Like, I really do think he's one of the absolute best American songsmiths, you know, of probably the last 50 years or so. And that's a really bold statement for me to make, and I absolutely feel like it's true. I say in this conversation, like, I put him up there with Townes Van Zandt. You know, and he's got stuff in common with the guy too, man. You know, he's originally from Texas. He's been in Arkansas for a long, long time. Kind of like me, came for school and met a girl, and you know, that was all she wrote. But man, Kevin, when I was playing a whole bunch, when I really thought that, you know, the way I was going to make my way in the world was through writing songs and performing them, Kerby was always like this kind of aspirational figure. As far as how clever he is just in normal conversation, as well as in songwriting, just like innately intelligent he is. His ability to kind of command a crowd just with his presence. I mean, this dude is, he really, in so many ways, he's like everything I ever wanted to be as far as a musician and an artist and a storyteller, right? So it's such a privilege for me to get to have like a long form conversation with him. I mean, I used to play shows with this guy back in the day. He actually performed the ceremony. He married Marianne and I. And then, you know, just stuff happens and you get busy, and I haven't really seen him or talked to him other than just like a quick hello or something in probably 5 years or so. So this was just such a real pleasure for me to get to sit down one evening in this butcher shop and have this really awesome long form conversation with someone who I think incredibly highly of and who I admire so much. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this conversation with my friend Kevin Kerby. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Black Duck Revival Podcast. I don't know if it's going to translate on these microphones, but you might hear kind of like a motorized hum in the background, and that's because we are recording this interview in a butcher shop here at Hillcrest Artisan Meats in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I have the pleasure of being joined by one Kevin Kerby. Well, I mean, we can explain why we're sitting here in the butcher shop, but we'll get into everything that we'll talk about Kevin. But like, I would say that I've often described you as the poet laureate of Little Rock.
Yeah,
that's kind of,
it's very sweet of you.
That's how I've always felt, man. Like, Kevin is a singer and songwriter, and I'd say, you know, as long as I've been in Arkansas for like 22 years, almost 22 years, and I feel like, you know, folks outside of Arkansas, one, they don't really think about Arkansas.
Right.
They do think about Arkansas. They think about Bill Clinton,
Mm-hmm.
maybe some of that Iran-Contra stuff, like dropping cocaine, people dying on train tracks, and what else would it be? West Memphis 3, maybe. And then whatever terrible Southern stereotype you have, right?
Yep.
And so for a long time, I would say to people, they'd say like, "Oh man, you live in Arkansas. What's that like?" And I'd say, "Man, Arkansas is whatever you think about Arkansas. That's Arkansas. Like that's definitely part of it,
Yep.
right? But there's all this other shit to it too,
Yep.
right? And like I always kind of thought you were one of the things that was the other stuff, right?
Well, that's the South in general, though. You know?
Sure.
Yep.
And I loved that you were also from North Texas, which
Yeah.
is like historically. I don't think Texas thinks that much about Arkansas, but I think that. Yeah.
This is a true theory. Yeah.
People in Arkansas are preoccupied with hating Texas.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Arkansas matters at all to
No,
anyone in Texas.
not at all. No, football, none of that matters. It's just kind of like the Razorbacks get so excited when they play the Longhorns and beat them, and it's just kind of like. Yeah, well, you didn't really beat the Longhorns. You didn't beat Vince Young. You didn't beat Ricky Williams. You just beat a bunch of kids, But, yeah, you're right. It is hilarious to me how Arkansans actively hate Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, I can see their point.
Yeah. Well, you know what there's actually some folks in my life, like some of the most influential people in my life have been from Texas.
Right.
But, if you just go and stand in the middle of Dallas or stand in the middle of Houston or something, right? Like, you're not – and if you're just absorbing through osmosis the energy of the place.
Yeah. That's not it.
No, that's not it, right?
That's right.
Like, what you want out of Texas is what I'm looking for, I think, is like – some level of nostalgia, right? I think I like the more isolated groups of people in Texas.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Tough kind of there's a way some people in Texas get that they're almost like jerky, right? Like they're real tough but they're still malleable.
Right.
And then I think it goes without saying some of the best. Like if you like guitar and words and words that go with guitar, like
some of the greatest ones,
the best stuff ever produced,
there.
right?
Yeah.
So what's a weird thing? So we're talking about how. So I've known I guess for a long time at this point. I've known you for a long time.
Yeah.
And it came through playing music, right?
Right.
But now that I do this like other thing, right? We're talking about Texas songwriters. You know who's like really like a really well respected figure in the outdoor space is Towns Van Zant's kid. He's like he's a redfish, like he's a fly fishing guide down on the Texas coast, and he's, I don't know the guy, so I'm just talking about my perception of what I've seen, man. But he's like a real staunch conservation activist or proponent would probably be a better way of saying it. And like even with that redfishing, like he's doing it for the interaction with the animals. Like it's his preference that you don't keep a fish and eat it.
Catch and release type fella.
Yeah, but it's wild, man, because he looks just like Towns. I mean, looks just like Towns Van Zandt. Have you ever seen they did that documentary on Towns Van Zandt
where he's in his kitchen.
Yeah, and like you kind of see the decline of him,
sure.
Right? He got sick and passed away, right? And this dude's in it. He's like 17 and he's playing guitar.
Wow.
He just looks like Towns Van Zandt, and now 25 years later, he still does. But yeah, he's like cool, man. He's like all linked up with that Yeti company, based out of Austin.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, he's like promoting. You know what ranch waters are?
Yeah, I do. Actually,
he's like promoting like this canned ranch water brand. But yeah, it's just like a weird intersect. But yeah, man. So if someone asked you what you do now, no, let's not do that yet.
Okay.
How long have you been in Arkansas for? 30 years or something?
Yeah, a little bit more, maybe off and on. Wound up going to Harding starting in 1988, which is, Harding, the big Church of Christ school in Searcy. My older brother and my sister had gone there, and my mom was kind of worried about me because I was kind of the wild one. Mm-hmm. And she was just like, just try it for a year. So I went there for a year, met a girl, kind of never left. I think I came back home for one semester and went to community college in Collin County, where my parents still live, for, I don't know, like a week, and I dropped out. So just kind of skipped around for a semester, and then I think I went back to Harding for one more year. I just kind of waited for her to graduate, and then we got married in 92. So I've been here in Little Rock since 1992.
And so y'all been married for, like, what, 31 years?
30 years, yeah.
30 years?
Yeah, 30 years.
Oh, yeah, I guess it is.
30 years last August, yeah.
It's interesting. That's how you, like, describe your entry, man, because you're probably the first dude I ever came across that I was, like, fully convinced was, like, fully and without question in love with his wife. Like, really liked her a lot.
Yeah. We were talking about that this morning, she and I.
Yeah. She was like, man, you really like me, don't you?
She's like, you're the luckiest son of a bitch. Yeah, no, it's always been that way. You know, you're not wrong. It's actually true.
Yeah, man. And you were.
I've been all in since I saw her.
Yeah, you know, that's probably worth. That actually brings me, because you're like that with your kids too.
Yeah.
And how old are you now? Are you 50 yet?
I'm 53.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're 50. So you're like 14 years older than me, right?
Okay.
And so when, like, that whole crew of folks moved up, when I moved up here in that kind of the tail end of, like, the Conway kids moving up here, right?
Yeah.
Which would have been, I don't know, like probably
mid 2000s,
like probably 15 years ago or something,
yeah, okay.
right?
Yeah.
So, and that, you know, we were all like, whatever, 23, 24 years old.
And this was the big city, right? Well,
yeah.
You're from St. Louis.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, in Arkansas. It was bigger than
Right.
Conway, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I went to this little town, go to this little liberal arts school, and ended up hanging out with, like, the little weirdos and the punk rock kids and stuff. And then a couple of them got this bar, this, like, in Arkansas, and, I mean, probably throughout, this real kind of a well-respected dive bar type place called Whitewater.
I've heard of it.
Have you? I may have slept on a pool table there.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I kind of came up on the tail end of that thing, and it was, maybe it was perception, but it was kind of a little bit of like what we were just talking about before we started recording, man, like the established musical scene or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Probably rightfully took a little umbrage with these folks that had like a little, you know, youthful attitude coming in there, right? And there's little butting heads, and then it kind of worked its way out, and then there was like folks like you who had been playing in Little Rock for, you know,
Long time.
for like a long time, and had toured stuff that doesn't really happen as much anymore, but like had really done that. Like,
Yeah, I was at the tail end of all that. You know.
but I mean, you were like in Europe getting record deals and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I was at the tail end of it. Like when I was, the first time anyone offered me a quote unquote record deal, it was a 360 deal. Do you remember when they were doing those for a while?
Is that like the CCR deal? I don't know what a 360 deal
I don't know
is.
the CCR deal is.
Yeah, that's just like the worst record deal in history.
It's, you know, so it used to be like, you know, so it was like financially prohibitive to record a record, right?
Right.
So
Sure.
like the label would pay to record the record, right? You'd get some points, whatever. They'd give you 10 cents on every copy that got sold, right? Like people were buying hard physical copies of this stuff, right? And so they pretty much own your recordings, but then you made money by going on tour, selling $50 T-shirts, whatever. And then folks weren't buying hard copies of stuff anymore because of,
digital.
Yeah, like Napster showed up, and then people were doing MP3s and whatever. So they started doing these 360 deals where it's like they'd give you $10,000 to record a record, and then they get 50% of everything, like 50% of your tour and 50% of your merch.
Yeah.
Like, it was garbage.
Yeah, so maybe I was at the beginning of the end. You know, it was just about to change into where people aren't going to be buying CDs anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I couldn't be happier that happened. Couldn't happen. The record industry is just so bloated. I remember, and me even benefiting from it is just like, this is not the way you should do business. Mm-hmm. And I met so many people that worked for the label that we were on that, didn't know anything about music or didn't care about music,
Sure.
like didn't listen to music. But I digress.
Well, and I can only speak to like in the past, right? Because as we discussed, like I have moved out of relevancy in this field, but there was like really what felt good about playing and staying up all night and like hanging out and thinking you're having these meaningful conversations and very occasionally having them, right? And
sure.
Thinking you had to like really harm your body to have some angst, right? You could be pessimistic about it and talk about just how bullshit stern it is, which it is in large part, but there's also something. The thing that I thought was kind of the most fulfilling about it was the earnestness, right? Like just even if it wasn't going to carry you throughout your whole life, just like really being invested in the idea that like you could create something that would matter.
Yeah.
That would somehow like influence the fabric of whatever was you were in, right?
Yeah. It's pretty rare, but yeah.
I mean, I don't know, dude. I think that if you want it to be like worldwide, I think it's pretty rare, but I think that
oh yeah, I mean at some point I made it smaller. Like I used to try to write songs that with this wide reach, wide brush, and then I realized the more specific I got, the more people could relate to it.
Yeah, man.
And like, so, the
it worked
smaller,
with me, dude.
Yeah,
like
right?
you're coming out as like North Texas Church of Christ.
Yep.
Like grew up in the 70s thing, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I've always said, dude, like I think like my favorite songwriters have been like Townes Van Zandt, have been you.
Oh, you can stop there if you want to.
I mean, honestly, I'm thinking about like songwriters.
That's pretty.
Those are
pretty good company there, bud.
Dude, yeah, man. But it's.
Were you a Steve Earle fan?
I got zero beef with Steve Earle, but I was never like a fan.
Well, I was, and then I kind of not grew out of it, but Steve Earle's a good guy to listen to. Speaking of those Texas songwriters, like at the beginning, because his songs are, especially back then, were like songwriting 101.
Yeah.
But. What were you saying? You were saying I'm just like Townes Van Zandt.
Well, yes, that's what I was saying. I'm saying the specificity of it.
Yeah, lyrically, yeah.
That's easier for someone to plug into emotionally or intellectually because it's actually respectful enough of the person who's listening to it. Like it gives the listener a chance to make those synapse connections for themselves.
Yeah,
right?
And it also kind of gets rid of the people that don't listen to music the way that we listen to music.
Sure.
The guys that listen to hit song radio, top 40 radio. You know?
We're just looking for something different from it.
Yeah.
They're just for a lot of people, it's something to fill the silence with.
Oh, absolutely. I think that, I can tell that you and I and, a lot of people I know listen to music way different than most people do. Wasn't there a point in your life where you were like, oh, man, I like music way more than anybody I know?
Yeah. I had a brother-in-law that's married to my sister.
That makes him your brother-in-law.
Yeah. Well, I just had one. He's not my brother-in-law anymore.
Right.
I was when I was like 18 or something, 17. He's from Paducah, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And this dude's telling me that I need to go to the Army, right? Like he thinks I need discipline, which I did need discipline, but
that seems an overcorrection.
Yeah, I mean for me, it wouldn't have worked out. But I was telling him about music and I was explaining to him. He was just looking at me like he had never heard anyone explain it having that effect on him. And he was like, man, I just want to let you know, dude. Like, and he was trying to be generous with me. He was like, everybody don't see it that way. You know?
He's right.
But I mean, everyone's got some form of artistic expression that, especially when you're in that, you know, you're in that self-introspective, like, woe is me high school stuff that,
sure.
that hits you, you know?
I think there are some people that never go through that, though. Unfortunately, they probably go through it later in life.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably like
peaked in high school. You know those guys.
Yeah, you know, end up
Wasn't us.
they're divorced and they're sitting in their like apartment on an air mattress.
Yeah, waiting for their kids to come every other weekend.
Yeah. But man, I don't know exactly how, but I feel like this ties into I'm not even sure how to broach this, but so whenever this was, say 13 years ago, whatever, right?
Mm.
There was and I feel like you understood it from me, and it's something I've thought back on a lot, but I think I had I liked your music so much, and I respected your songwriting ability so much that I thought that like your focus on like being a really rad dad and a good husband was like a waste, you know? Like, I think that I thought that because I asked you one time, I was like, man, are you gonna try and do this or that or blah blah blah, man? And you're like, dude, I'm gonna try and be Gus's dad.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember being like kind of mad at you.
Yeah.
And then I mean, because especially, you know, my 20s, man, like I was misguidedly so like just incredibly earnest about everything, right?
All or nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, it's still like a thing I have now. Like balance is the hardest thing for me to find.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like straight up fear of prison, I think, is the number one. Fear of prison and loving my family enough.
I'll go with that.
Those are the two things that have kept me from being like a degenerate junkie.
I'll go with that. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'll go with that.
You know, like I never shot up something because I was just, I think about my mom, and I think about the fact that I could not survive in prison.
Yeah.
But now, you know, so translate it to now. I'm at the point that you were at.
So this is before you had kids.
Yeah. So I'm at the point that you were at, and dude, it's not even that I think it was an honorable thing to do. I understand it now to be the absolutely only correct thing to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like how Chris Rock has that bit about like people always talking about I take care of my kids. Like,
what, you want a cookie?
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, man. But it wasn't that, man. You know, like you didn't say I'm gonna whatever. I'm gonna start doing data processing and try to make 6 figures. You made the decision that you were gonna like legit be a rad dad.
Right.
And I had a dude. I don't want to say this guy's name, but this is like kind of one of my stories. You know, so when I was cooking at the bar, right?
Right.
And this a dude who's like well-known, good songwriter, like from a band that's kind of like held in very, very high regards in this part of the country, right?
You go right ahead.
Right. And I think it had you open for him or something. Uh-huh. And I think you had kind of been like particularly smarmy with his audience.
Myself, yeah.
I mean, there was a grit to it, right?
And I would blame it on the crowd.
It's a crowd that's there to see the band they came to.
Correct.
You know, I opened for them. Dude, I opened for them in Conway years before that, dude, and I'll never forget, dude. I started playing songs, man, and those kids, they just repeated that band's name until I left. Like,
literally,
dude,
yeah.
Oh man, it was brutal. But anyway, so this dude's like, he was like, man, I just don't get it, because this is what I'm talking about your influence. He was like, I don't get it, man. He was like this dude loves you, right? He's like, I love this guy, man. I think he's like the greatest songwriter, man. Like, why is he He's like, why is he so grumpy? And I was like, dude, you want me to tell you for real? I was still willing to. There's a point in my life when I was still willing to, like say stuff that was like mean and pretend that it was all right because it was true.
Yeah.
It was just being a turd. And I was like, dude, because that guy knows he's a fucking genius songwriter, man. I was like, and you tour all over the place and, like have people throw themselves at you, dude. And this dude's making sandwiches. I was like,
wow.
Dude. And I was like, so I said, I bet sometimes he kind of hates you. And I was like, and I do too. And then that was where it went too far, and then it turned into something, whatever.
Right.
And this is a nothing story, really.
Is everything okay now?
I guess. I ain't talked to that dude in a decade.
He's still touring all over the country.
Yeah, he's still banging, man.
Yeah.
I was watching a show and heard one of their songs the other day, and I was like, oh, that cat won, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he beat us.
He won, man. He's winning. But, yeah, I think I respect the inclination because you didn't stop writing amazing songs, right? I'd argue that, I've listened to older stuff like ho-hum stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'd argue that some of my favorite stuff was probably when you were right about the period, like right about like my period, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think one of the best songs ever is This Town Smells Like Paper Mills and Broken Wheels, which you would think on its head is super specific to Little Rock.
Right.
Like there's this paper mill down in Pine Bluff.
Right.
Those southerly winds blow up. You smell the stink.
Yep.
But, you could replace that with anything, any rendering plant.
I've had so many people guess so many different towns. But, I guess. There was something going on right there. That's probably the time where I was like, I'm going to get real specific here. I think that was the first solo record, and I think that I was kind of trying to get there with Mulehead, but I was still trying to be clever. Mm-hmm. But then that's like when I really started ratcheting down, and it's like this is going to be about. And I think it was about. I started having conversations with a buddy of mine in Arizona. He's a huge hip hop fan, and I was jealous of these rappers who could. So, my genre, which I would say is Americana or whatever you want to call it, you got to talk about like train. A lot of dudes talk about trains and all this shit that doesn't happen anymore. And it's like, you grew up in the suburbs, man. What are you doing? You know? But a rapper can talk about what's happening in that room where he is, and it's way more effective. So I was kind of jealous of that immediacy. Mm-hmm. So that's where I started doing that.
Dude, and then you got into, like in subsequent records, you got into, it felt like really examining this like world you came from, right? Like that real heavy religious influence, like talking about being at the summer camp. And, like want to do one of the best lines ever is, you're referencing like the serpent.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and so of course too, everyone who like fancies themselves like a student of Western thought, right? Like they love a Bible reference, right?
Sure.
But so you say, you talk about a bifurcated tongue, which I think is like, I say bifurcated all the time. Directly, I had to look the word up. Then I was like, oh, dude, what a good word for being cut in half.
I was pretty proud of that one.
Dude, that's a great line, man. That's a great line. What are you pulling from now? Like when you're saying you're writing, maybe not performing as much, but writing, what do you pull from now?
I would say that this last batch of songs that I wrote was, so my wife and I had to go pick up our daughter in Austin. She went to debate camp. So we drove to Texarkana, and we took back roads all the way to Round Rock, just outside of Austin. And like just those, and you were talking about it earlier, what you want out of Texas. It's like those back roads, all these towns that kind of have the same thing. There's a donut shop. There's another donut shop. Every town has its own thing. A water tower, a Mexican restaurant, whatever it is. But something split my head open on that trip to where it was like, well, I'm going to start writing all these songs. And the first song that I wrote on this batch was Actually, I had written a song about Dimebag Darrell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in his death and how it affected me, which I was not a Pantera fan, but when he died, somehow, for some reason, I got really sad. And it turns out he kind of grew up close to where I grew up.
What was it? It wasn't Megadeth. What was he in?
No, he was Pantera.
Pantera, yeah.
Yeah.
It had like the big Confederate flag guitar.
Then I started looking at it, and it's like, well, no wonder I kind of liked him because he was very influenced by ZZ Top, Texas music.
Yeah.
And their music was a little different. Still not a huge fan because, that heavy music is not really what I'm into, but I'll listen to it every once in a while. But, so I just started writing, like, when I'm in a situation like that in a small town, I always think, like, there's a kid here who's a fucking genius, and he's either going to make it out or he's not going to make it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I always go to songwriting. Like, there's some band, high school kids in this town who it's not as easy to go unnoticed anymore because of the internet and all that kind of stuff. But they get together every Friday night, and they're just amazing, and they write the greatest songs. So all those characters started making it into all these songs. So that's kind of what I'm pulling on now. I'm specifically writing about Texas and when I grew up, the Texas of when I grew up. And relatives, and talking about my cousins and like whatever happened to that guy.
What town did you grow up in?
So I grew up in McKinney, would be the biggest town there. And it probably was the biggest town then. I graduated from Allen, Texas. And all these towns now, people here have heard of them. They're huge towns now. They're basically Dallas. Mm-hmm. So north of Dallas. But back then, they were little towns. You got outside of, there's Dallas and Richardson, then Plano, and then McKinney. Or Allen, then McKinney, then Melissa. Then it just keeps going north. They were little towns then, and nobody had heard of them. Once you got past Plano, nobody knew what was back. Nobody knew what was back there. What was beyond Plano. But I also spent a lot of time in East Texas. That's where my grandparents lived, and my aunts and uncles and all that kind of stuff, cousins. So we kind of split time there, and in the summers, I was there kind of constantly. So a lot of these songs are based on that area, which I found far more interesting than where I grew up. It was almost, I would say it's a suburb now. In fact, the house I grew up in, my parents sold probably 10 years ago. They tore it down, and it was 13 acres. And there's all these just multi-million-dollar houses on it now. Not just like multi-million because that's how much they cost, but like super fancy. I think some of the Dallas Cowboys live there now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that changed, huh?
Yeah, it changed a little bit. But it was pretty wild then. I mean, it was country when I was a kid. So that's where I grew up, running the creeks and what have you.
Did you grow up fishing or hunting or anything like that?
No, actually, no. I avoided all that. I think that I would go fishing with my grandfather when I was a kid. But there was a group of us in that environment, and most of the kids were fishing and hunting or doing FFA and raising cows and pigs and stuff. And we specifically avoided that, which marked us as kind of outsiders.
Sure.
And now I kind of wish that I had done that stuff, I kind of wish that I had kept fishing or had ever gone hunting. My dad was a dove hunter, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think that going on a dove hunt every year in Texas is kind of
a thing.
Like everybody.
Yeah.
It's like a big tailgate.
Yeah, that's right. But no, I mean, and my parents were pretty permissive. Like, we kind of got to do whatever we wanted to do and didn't really have to do what we didn't want to do. Two varying degrees. So,
were you raised like going to church every Sunday?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So there's that side of it too. As long as you went to church, yeah, every Sunday, every Wednesday. My mom was real Church of Christ. And the Church of Christ that I grew up in all the way through middle school was strict, and you're going to hell at every turn. And then we found a progressive Church of Christ when I got a little older. And those guys turned out to be really, really good people for me, for everybody in my family, I think. Because that Church of Christ thing, man, is strict, and it's like you feel guilty 24 hours a day. I still am dismantling all that, you know.
You know, I didn't think about that. That's like Catholic guilt, you know?
Uh-huh.
Like that old style.
By the way, we were taught to hate Catholics as well.
Dude, you know, I didn't know that was a thing until I moved to Arkansas.
Yeah.
Because I'd grown up in St. Louis, and I think from 6th grade through high school, I went to Catholic school. Like, I went to all boys high school and stuff,
Sure.
right? And just going to Catholic parochial school is a very commonplace thing in St. Louis. And man, I got down to Arkansas, and I realized how, you know, a lot of people have a lot of negative stuff to say about the Catholic Church, you know, and, you know, I'm not here to defend it, right? But I would tell you that it was a much kinder, gentler institution than what I was introduced to when I got down
I'll give you that.
to, like, the Bible Belt. Like,
Yeah.
just there was this idea, you know, they would say, like, you know, the idea that, you know, being a good moral person, that's what the goal was, right? And this, you know, there's many paths to God, and there are Buddhists in heaven and all this stuff. I got down here and it was like, dude, if you ain't doing it just like this, you will burn forever.
Yeah. And not just that, but I mean, you know, like just weaponizing that weaponizing God
Sure.
towards other people.
Well, I mean, and look, that's not specific to the Church of Christ in the 70s, man. That's throughout history, right? People weaponizing God.
I'll give you that. But it was a real specific, you know. And you would think there would be more Catholics in Texas because of the Latino population.
Well, I
but
mean,
where I was, there weren't that many Latino people either.
So that's what it is, man. So, yeah, obviously.
Right.
I mean, dude, I just did this. I did a podcast some weeks ago with this dude down in Southwest Little Rock who's a Catholic priest.
Yeah, I heard that one.
Oh, yeah, but he's he said something like there's only like 7,000 Catholics in Arkansas, and 95% of them are Latino. Mm-hmm. But if you think about outside of the Latinos who settled Texas, it's like Germans, right? So they're bringing that Protestantism.
Yeah, a real strict Protestantism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
that's crazy.
In Germany, they wouldn't let us be strict enough, so we left. In Germany, they were like, "Hey, man."
Yeah, I never even thought about that, you know. But it was something.
Do you think there was a? This is kind of an obvious question, so I'll say this: how do you think the reaction to that, like, influenced the? I mean, you know, like you had a period, I'm sure, of like kind of hard drinking, like staying up in bars, smoking Camel cigarettes,
I would say, that was. I had an over-adjustment period for sure. You know, I grew up. I said I was the wild one, but in my family, it didn't take much to be the wild one. You know what I mean? Like, my older brother is so square. My sister has always done the right thing. So if you leave that little path a little bit, you're the wild one.
So you and your little brother would be like the
weirdo. Yeah, that's right. And I kicked the door down for him. Like, by the time he came along, they were like, "Do whatever you want. We don't care." You know.
Yeah.
And at the same time, as long as you went to church, you could kind of do whatever you wanted to. They never squashed my creativeness. You know, they never squashed that. They always thought it was cool that I was like a visual artist. You know, I like to draw and all that kind of stuff. And then when I got into music, they were real encouraging, you know. And my dad especially. My dad was a huge music fan, so I think he was kind of happy that I was getting into that. What was the question?
How did the overcorrection work?
So the overcorrection. So then, like, you know, I was kind of a good kid, seen as a good kid. So then it was like, I got to prove how wild I am. So I got more wild, more. Never drugs or anything like that. Fear prison, that type of thing,
Sure.
you know. But yeah, I mean, and it was kind of tricky because my mom's side of the family, there are a lot of alcoholics on that side. So kind of trying to sidestep that with her being too worried about you or what have you. So I'm sure I scared her a few times. I scared myself a few times. But yeah, cigarettes and booze, definitely staying up all night, you know, trying to find somebody in each town we toured into to be like, you're going to be my bro tonight. We're staying up all night, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had that period. And it was a pretty long period, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think, were you out of it before Gus came, or Gus?
No, Gus got me out of it.
Sure.
I was still like trying to stay up till I was working at that bar. It's so now, but it was a living room back then. I don't know if you ever came up here when that was there. Matt came in a few times. I think that we used to have shows there. So like, you know, I'd bring people in that he liked and he'd come see them. And we would stay up until 2 a.m. And then I would stay up there drinking until 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And still trying to like get up in the morning because I was taking care of Gus. I would work at night. Carolyn would work during the day. And I would take care of Gus, like, starting in the morning. But, you know, I had stayed up till 4 or 5 in the morning. That was kind of an adjustment period. But finally got out of that. I can't remember how I got out of that, where I worked after that. But it took a good 3 or 4 years to be like,
I remember you bouncing in and out of it.
I'm going to be
man.
a dad, yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember like you wouldn't. You'd be like, man, I'm not drinking anymore.
Yep.
Or I'm not smoking anymore, right? But then like we'd be hanging out or something. You're like, hey man, can I bum one of them cigarettes? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just,
yep.
I get it, dude. I get how it goes.
Yep. Well, and then you know, when he was, I don't know how old he was, but I had that whole period. I didn't drink for like 9 years.
Yeah.
And I've been drinking again, finally. But
yeah, no,
nothing like what I was doing,
dude. You got that like 10-gallon hat, and you were running all the time.
That's right.
You weren't drinking, dude. So I've been on my graft, like going up and down, being real healthy and not
right,
and like running all the time, right?
Yep.
And I was like running in this park, like legit. Maybe like a month ago, I'm running this park, and I got these goofy little running shorts on, you know.
Uh-huh.
And I'm running, and I had this. I had this flash, and I was, and I'd kind of been like I've been going through this. I just been examining, like, I don't know. I guess like some ideas about spirituality and you know, just all that's just that cliched shit, right? And I was like, holy shit! I was like, I'm Kevin Kerby. I was like,
were you running like this?
Yeah, I did. I had my little hands up like that, and I was like, dude, I was like,
oh yeah, man. I went through again. I mean, like during that period, I had a spiritual awakening, like a for real thing. Like,
yeah.
I was convinced that I had met God one night, you know, and went. The only language I knew and the only way I knew to do it was to go back to the Church of Christ. And so I went back for a good couple of years and like became really involved, like teaching teenagers and all this kind of stuff. And then I just started seeing the cracks, you know. It's just like, oh, these people haven't changed at all. They seem nicer on the surface. And there's always nice people, actually true, genuine people. But, you know, I mean, it's not their fault. They're all damaged from being raised in this tradition, you know. And so I started kind of like, I'm going to go ahead and back out. Then when Trump was elected, I was like, I bet a good number of these people voted for that dude because he's a Republican, and that's what you have to do if you're a Christian. And that was like the last straw where I was like, I still believe that there's something outside of me, higher than me. But at the end of the day, I can say the thing that I wasn't allowed to say growing up. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. So that's what it looks like now.
I mean, but there's a lot of humility to that.
I think so too.
You know, and I think to be fair too, like I'll speak for myself. I have it it sounds like to me like what you ultimately were reacting to in that is some people there's an unbearableness to like organized facility, right? And this this way that stuff has to be done. I think that most people find comfort in that, right? And then some people are just by their nature, they're irked by it, right? To the point that they'll find. I think, started realizing that about myself a few years ago, and it was just that the more I would try to conform to somebody else's standards, right? Like do it the right, quote unquote, right way. It felt like I was compromising everything about myself, and so like there wasn't any room for any goodness to come out of me because I was like kind of having this allergic reaction to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm pandering.
Well, I
don't want to crap all over organized religion.
No,
but
me
I think
neither.
the organized part of it is.
I think that's the problem.
But
and it's funny you say that because it's kind of like I started noticing that people were like, "I'm so glad you've had this awakening," and then so now are you going to behave? And it's like, I mean, probably not.
Yeah.
You know. And the more you ask me that, the less I'm going to.
Yeah, that's it. That's part of who you are. There's just like there's a contrarianism to you.
Sure.
That is well served. It's like the best version of that contrarianism is cleverness.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, okay.
And so that can make you like a great raconteur. That can make you
Right.
like a great storyteller. It works really great with art, like visual art or written or like songwriting or whatever. But then like the bad side of it is that if you feel constrained, like you're just gonna react, right? And so like if it comes out in cleverness and they're smart enough to get that works. But if it doesn't, you'll just be an a-hole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would say there's also a good bit of self-sabertage involved in that
Ooh,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, like I'm really gonna fuck this up for me.
Dude, I tell you what, I would be if every time I had done that in my life was actually a success, I'd be Jeff Bezos right now, man. No one has been a worse friend of Jonathan Wilkins than Jonathan Wilkins.
Yeah. I mean, my brain tells me all the time, like, just like with running, whatever. One day my brain is like, you never want to do this again, do you?
Oh, so you've completely stopped?
Yeah. Can't still.
I mean, hey, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I blame it on my knees, but I don't know.
I also, my mom, the old Bevernator, she says, she's talked about people like this, but she'll say, like, Jonathan, some people are with you for a reason and some people are with you for a season. And like, I don't think that you have to do everything forever. I don't think you
really don't.
I don't think every relationship has to be forever.
No. No. In fact, it's kind of like growing. I consider a lot of my relationships when I was in Texas, like in high school, like those dudes I would hang out with. Mm-hmm. It's like we needed each other. We held on to each other really tight. But then when we got out of it, it's just kind of like, all right, deuces. And I'm still friends with him.
Sure.
Me and Brent Best are still pretty close. But there was a period where we weren't. I think his wife was like, you guys need to start hanging out again. So we do kind of sometimes. But, I started feeling bad because it was like, I felt like he was ignoring me. And not just him, but this is just an example. But, it's just kind of like, well, I guess I needed him more than he needed me. You know what I mean? So, like, that's the season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's... And you go in and out being real close to people, especially in this town. Not especially in this town. I don't know why I said that. But, there's times where you really hang out hardcore with somebody, and then all of a sudden it's like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's the way it works.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, you can't... I think one of the... I think as people, maybe as a society, we really put a lot of stake in specialization, right? Or or being able to. What's that dude? This is like kind of esoteric, but do you remember like it was on back in the '80s? It was like Charles Kuralt. On the road with Charles Kuralt.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
he's like examining the most interesting people across the country. And it'd be whatever. It'd be some dude in North Texas that was like 80 years old, and he was the best person that ever lived with a slingshot or something.
Right. Yeah.
Or it's like these very specialized tasks, and so that lends itself towards just something being repeated. Or man, I'll tell you what. Even what I've thought, like in a bar, right? Like I saw people that, by many measures, would be considered not successful, right?
Yeah.
Relationships with people, marriages, children, jobs, whatever. They weren't successful.
Sure.
But the thing they maintained was going to this stool every day and drinking, right? And they actually gained status from that. Like that was where their status came from, was the regularity of it. The fact that it was repeated, right? Yeah. To the point that I think that act actually had influence on people, and then maybe they die and they're like legit mourned, and they're enshrined and they're memorialized, right? But I really think that one of the strengths of being a person is, or one of the great potential strengths of being a person is that there's endless changes available to you, right? You can make whatever sort of course corrections, or given opportunity, you can make course corrections and like do what's actually right. And if we go back to 30 minutes ago, like the right thing for you to do was to say, I'm going to keep playing songs, dude, but like I'm going to make sure that like I'm giving my unit the best version of me that I can give them, right?
Yeah, because I realized I'm giving the bar the best version of me and giving these people what's left over. So I just had to flip-flop that.
And if you want to talk about the egotistical nature of writing thoughts down and then standing up and having everyone be quiet while you perform them. Yeah. Like, like we're all chasing some sort of legacy.
Right.
Like if you just want to play the practical game, you're like, man, I've been doing this for like 15, 20 years. Practically, I could keep chasing something that may not happen. Doesn't mean it doesn't have value, but like, or I can put my time and effort into something that
matters.
Well, that will endure for another 80 years.
Yeah.
Like you want to talk about legacy.
Yeah.
And I would argue, and look, I'm saying this as like, dude, I don't even know that any of your kids have ever spoken to me or anything, right? Or I've spoken. It's not like I was talking to them; they weren't talking to me. But
right.
I just think about like Gus, your boy, man. Like Gus was an entity in the place he lived from when he was really, really little as part of your legacy. I always have thought one of the coolest things, there's this documentary that, I forget who made Towncraft. Do you remember?
Yeah, Richard Matheson.
Okay, so there's this documentary about kind of like the 90s music scene in Little Rock. Probably more interesting if you're from this area,
you know who
or if
if
you experience it. But I think there's value in it just as like a cool documentary. But you're in it, and you're like sitting on your front porch. Yep. You're like, and like Gus is probably like 5 years old,
maybe if that. Yeah.
But dude, I thought it was so cool. Like you're like, hey Gus, what kind of guitar? I remember you said like, what kind of guitar?
Bruce Springsteen.
Little Steven play, right? And
that was his favorite band at the time. Yeah,
dude. And I was like, dude. That's what I want. One day I want to have a kid and they can rattle off guitars. And I didn't end up with that. You know what I ended up with is this is like one of the most proud moments I've had in a long time. Is me and the girls and Marianne, we were out in the park picking wild persimmons, right?
Uh-huh.
And my oldest, Eloise, she's 5 years old. And she's just like kind of like playing on the path and stuff. And she grabs like a bundle of pine needles and she holds it up underneath her chin. And she goes, "This is my turkey beard." Like gobblers. Dude, and she just absorbed it through.
Yeah.
And then she then she like wanted my phone to record something, right? So she's recording herself. She's going, "Hi, this is Eloise Wilkins, and this is the podcast Black Duck Revival, and we are picking persimmons with my daddy."
That's awesome,
I was like,
man.
dude, that's some wild stuff. But like her holding, like seeing that, making like the artistic decision to say, "Hey, I can make an analog to something that in my little sphere like has importance," I thought was just like the raddest thing, dude. And that's like as a person who's in charge of other people, like there was some affirmation to that, right?
Oh yeah. Oh God. I remember there was talking about Gus. There was, and maybe you remember this, but me and Matt White were having an argument about if you were going to a deserted island, you could only bring one person's catalog, one musician's catalog, one band, whatever. So I took AC/DC. Gus was a huge AC/DC fan at the time, so I was listening to a lot of AC/DC. He's like, Bruce Springsteen, you know.
Yeah.
So those are Gus's two favorite things when he was this age, you know. So I was like, all right, here's what we're going to do, Matt. We're going to ask Gus what he thinks, and whatever he answers, that's the answer.
Yeah.
And so I asked him, and he took it real serious. Like he got up from the table and he like goes in the kitchen and he sticks his head in and he goes, I mean, I guess Bruce Springsteen, but what about the Replacements? Like, son of a bitch, that's the answer,
dude.
And that was the first time he said something like that, and I was like, oh man, he thought of that on his own. Hilarious.
Yeah, but being like just from being exposed to it, and it
right.
having value
Right.
in his world.
Right.
So I don't want to skip over completely this place that we're in, right?
Oh, yeah.
'Cause, I mean, you've been here. How long have you worked for?
Well, I worked for Brandon for 4 or 5 years, and then I toured for a year and a half.
Yeah.
By myself, and then I came back. And then he sold it, so I went back to Boulevard. And then it was District Fair for a couple of years, maybe. And then Brandon helped design Hill Station, the restaurant across the street, and helped bring this back to Ham. And then called me and asked me if I wanted a job. So the only reason I left is because they shut down.
Yeah.
They closed down the first time. So I came back.
So I mean, like,
So I've been here on and off for
10
years, yeah.
Yeah, and then like working in restaurants for what?
Since, I mean, I've always gone back to a restaurant job whenever.
The restaurant is a music job.
Music. Yeah, exactly. Since, I mean, my first job probably was 85, 86 at Brahms. And then.
Oh, like that ice cream and French fry place?
Yep. And then worked at Vino's for a good 10 years. Then after that, worked at Boulevard for one tour, 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. Then down here. Then they shut down. Back to Boulevard for a couple of years back here. So, I mean, one form or fashion, for real, like, since full-time since the early 90s, probably. Not still going to high school and just having a part-time job that I may or may not show up for. But I've always been... So this tour, though, now that I'm back here, I've actually started taking it seriously and trying to get my skills up, my chops, and try to figure out, like, how do you make soup? What's the technique? Turns out a lot of the techniques are kind of the same across the board. Like making soup, you do a certain order. Sausages, coming up with different flavored sausages, there's, like, master ratios. If I want it to taste like this, put a little bit more of this in there. And, you know, so that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of taking it a little more serious. And then maybe someday I'll open my own place up, but that'll be like my retirement plan.
Oh, really? That's become like an aspiration?
Yeah. I mean, my wife is, we're 53, and she's kind of topped out where she works and, has started thinking about like a 5-year escape plan. And then wants to, she keeps not putting me off, but I mean, like if it was up to me, I'd jump in both feet and lose my ass.
Yeah.
But she's like, let's think about it. How do we want to do this? Maybe take a couple of business classes, which I'm not going to do. at this point. I'll probably end up doing it. But so she's kind of pull on the reins, and she said the other day, she was like, after Christmas, we'll sit down and look at it, talk about it, and how we're going to make this happen. So.
Dude, that's gnarly, man.
Yeah.
So this place is this place Hillcrest Artisan Meats. Hillcrest is a neighborhood in Little Rock, and so whenever Brandon opened, so Brandon, like, this dude came down, like, from, like, Portland, right? Mm-hmm. The first person this is how I knew that Arkansas was different. He kept referring to like his wife or something as his partner.
Yeah.
Right? That was the first time I had ever heard that.
Right.
And I'm like, partner? I was like, this isn't Cagney and Lacey. That's your wife, right?
Yeah.
But, it just came from, like, a different place, right? And, I mean, that's a little more commonplace now.
Right, yeah, for sure.
Whatever, 12, 13, whatever years
Portland's
ago.
always been ahead of us.
Sure.
Trailblazers, I would say.
But so, like, this was kind of that I can recall, this was like the first kind of artisan meat shop in Central Arkansas.
And I met Brandon. He was the chef at Boulevard.
Oh, that's right. He was at Boulevard
first. And then
first.
he came down here and started this place. And they were building it out. I'd come by 3 times a week just to talk to him because he was my bud up there, you know. Mm-hmm. Like, and so that's how I got the job here. You know, he was finally like, "Yeah, we wouldn't mind you working here if you could swing it." So,
dude, you know, the first batch of sausage I ever made was like literally right over there.
Yep.
It was bratwurst.
Yep.
I remember the phallic joke that I told Brandon. I remember him being like, "There's a million of them."
I've heard them all.
Yeah, he was done with it. He didn't care at all. But I made a batch of bratwurst.
I remember thinking the effort to reward of this job, specifically making sausage, is like amazing. You cut the pork down, grind the pork, mix the seasoning in it, put it into a stuffer, turn a handle, comes out into intestine. You got sausage.
Yeah, it's really not that hard, man.
No, it really isn't. You know, it's hard to do it really well.
Sure.
Or, you know, it's real easy to do it good enough to eat.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's not as difficult as people think it is.
No, I mean, like, I actually think a few podcasts ago I did this, like, cooking and processing wild game thing, and I talked about sausage a little bit. You start getting in, like, emulsified sausages.
Yeah, that gets hard.
Right? Like,
bologna is really hard.
Yeah. A hot dog's hard.
Yeah.
Like a bratwurst, an Italian sausage, that stuff's easy.
Yeah. It's just getting your seasoning right.
And we're sitting right here in front of a dry curing cabinet, which you've been doing more stuff with that.
Yeah.
So
trial and error.
Are you doing, like, salamis and
So
soprasettas and stuff?
in there is, I've been doing more bersalas, which is the
dry
full muscle
cured
beef. Yeah. I haven't done a sopressata yet, although I think that would be the same process. Maybe bigger grind. But yeah, using different intestines, like we're using beef intestines for some of them, so they're a little bit bigger. Making summer sausages, which is easy because those are smoked instead of cured. The hardest part about these guys is just making sure they don't rot. You know, keep your humidity correct, temperature correct, and all that kind of stuff. But this is like for a big order. This lady came in and said she needed 60 of them to put in corporate gift baskets.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to let you walk out of here. So I'm going to quote you a price, and I'm going to be, I'm going to make them for you.
Sure.
So knock on wood, they don't go bad, which we haven't had that happen. If it happens once, you never want it to happen again.
Get a little funky.
Like that little yellow black mold.
Yeah.
The stuff that'll kill people. You don't want that to happen.
What is so like common? You're talking about intestines. Common intestine, like for most link sausages, would be like a hog intestine.
Yeah.
Like little skinny breakfast sausage would be like lamb.
Yeah.
Those are hard to stuff, man.
My
They're
goodness.
pain.
So there's a guy that comes in here every year at Christmas and wants merguez.
Yeah.
North African
lamb sausage.
Yeah. And we have a really good recipe for it. But I just, it kills me to see that guy walk through the door because it's like, oh, here we go. Gonna have to. And lamb intestines are only about 2 feet long. So you have to like
keep doing it.
Keep reloading.
Yeah.
And it's hard to see, But yeah. But so his daughter I don't know if she's adopted or not, but she's Middle Eastern, and she came in, and he was like, she wants to talk to you about the sausages. I was like, oh shit, here we go. She was like, it's amazing. Have you ever spent any time wherever she's from? I was like, no, look at me. No. I just got lucky. She's like, don't change the recipe at all.
Really? She said you were nailing it, huh?
Yep. I was just like flying blind.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But, it's Georgie's recipe, and apparently, North African.
Well, Georgie's dad is French.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of all an amalgam, I suppose.
Yeah. Got that colonizer vibe.
That's
man.
right. Yeah. That must be where it came
I got that
from.
colonizer sausage, man. This is a weird question. Do y'all have any beef bungs in here? Like dried beef bungs?
Well, no. Turns out it's not beef bung, because the bung is bigger, right?
Yeah, the bung is like the bottom of the intestinal tract.
Right. So that's how you make huge.
So that's what traditionally a mortadella or something would be.
Yes, correct. No, we don't have those.
You don't?
No. Biggest thing we have is like a cow intestine.
Yeah,
but it's not the bung.
So that's like summer sausage size.
Yeah. So I mean, it starts off that big, and we dried some, and they get a little bit not as big as I wanted them to be, but the summer sausage stays that size. Yeah. So yeah, same idea.
Yeah, I want to do some. I just want to make some. You could call it bologna, but it'd really be more of like a. Like a Lebanon bologna is.
Yeah, I absolutely do.
It'd be more like that. But dude, we should do some sausage stuff, man. I got so much weird, cool, tasty meat in the freezers, man.
I'm down. Like I told you before we started, man. I'm trying to talk myself into going on a hog hunt.
Yeah, I'm sure you could go down to where you're from. And
yeah, no season, all that kind of stuff. I've seen so many just like walking down the side of the road. Like first time I saw it, I didn't even know I don't really pay attention, especially that kind of stuff, you know. But I saw a big mom and a bunch of little ones on the side of the road, and I got to where I was going, talked to my uncle. I was like, man, I saw this huge wild pig. I think it was wild. He was like, yeah, probably. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Mary Ann killed one last year. It was like 230 pounds.
So you said that it doesn't taste as gamey as people say.
No, I think so.
It tastes different than domestic pig.
So
sure, right?
Pretty much like domestic meat in America is, it's like corn and soy based feed, right?
Sure.
Which creates a very middle of the road, mild taste, right? So obviously animals are influenced by what they're eating.
Yeah.
And then
which is why lamb tastes like hay. And,
sure. Yeah. And then you start dealing with like testosterone and breeding seasons and just stinky glands and all that. And for sure you can get, like
certain times of the year. It's different,
or just
right?
like, dude, no lie, like a big old boar, man. Like there's a smell to it, right?
It's like a giant ass catfish. It tastes like mud.
Can, right?
Okay,
depending on what it is. But right. I'm just saying, like, real talk. Okay, think about like grass. Like if you get some grass-fed and finished beef versus like a nice fat-capped ribeye from Whole Foods or something, right?
Yeah.
There's like a terroir to the one, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So Mary Ann and I each killed a pig in Texas last year, and the meat's been really good. Like, and one of them I kind of broke down to do like a lot of grind with, and kept the bellies and stuff, but mostly stuff for grind and whole roast. And then the other one like got broke down to like, sopressata cuts and like chops and ribs and like baby backs and all that stuff. I would say the meat and mostly the fat has a real floral quality to it. Like it really, you start roasting it or something and it smells.
Is that because, and that's because of what they eat, yeah?
I guess, man. but it wasn't, it's not off-putting at all. I think it's really good quality. As far as ground, what I've been doing is I take 50%. So we killed 2 pigs and 2 does, whitetail does down there. And I've just been grinding 50% pork and 50% venison and mix them together, run it through the grinder one more time. And that's just like our hamburger meat, you know? And it's, I think it's pretty good. I've rendered the fat down and made lard out of it, and it was.
Wow.
I keep saying floral, but yeah, perfumey is probably the wrong description of it, but more perfumey than stinky.
So, and I don't know if this is the same thing, but a lot of salami has kind of a toomey, like
Yeah.
and that can be almost floral too.
Well, you know, too, man, like really heavily spiced, like pepperoni.
Yeah,
Pepperoni was designed
to cover that
to
taste.
cover up, like when you're done breeding this boar after however long, you know, he's done, right? And he's got a set of testicles on him that look like guava melons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like chock full of testosterone.
Right.
There's gonna be it's like goats, like you know, like a billy goat's got a smell to it, right?
Sure.
So they designed this very heavily spiced sausage to just make that more palatable.
And so you can use every part and every animal, right?
Yeah, man.
I got you.
So I would say right now in the freezer I've got elk, I've got whitetail, I've got wild hog, I got wild turkey, I got black bear, I got
Oh wow! I didn't realize
the bear.
You do bear hunting?
Yeah. I have the last 2 years I've gotten a bear.
That's crazy.
I tell you this, man. Bar none, it's my favorite meat in the freezer.
Really?
That bear meat, yeah, man.
And is this the first time you've eaten it, or have you eaten it before?
No, I had a buddy a few years ago that like gave me a pound of ground, and then last year I was like hunting down the Wachitas, and last year I got a bear, and then this year I got one. And yeah, man, I mean it's like top shelf meat, man.
Wow.
Like
I would assume so. Their diet is pretty good.
They're 95% vegetarian.
Yeah. They eat a lot of berries.
Yep.
That's got to taste
They're
good.
eating like when I killed them, they're fattening up for the winter, so they're eating nothing but like acorns.
Oh. So that's Iberico.
I mean, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, when you find their scat out in the woods, man, you like kick it open, it just looks like it's like someone took a big scoop of crunchy peanut butter and threw it on the ground. They're just eating white oaks. They're eating black gumberries.
That puts a lot of that good fat in there.
Yeah, man, and they that's another situation. Like that's all about processing. Like if you kill a bear, like last year when that bear that I got, it was 95 degrees when I killed it. It was like September, 2:00 in the afternoon. Right? If I take that bear and I throw it in the bed of my truck and I drive it around for 4 hours, showing it to all my buddies, and then I finally decide to get its intestines out and its bladder. And, you know, the turds
but a
that
lot
are
of
sitting
that
inside
shit
of
is coming, getting into the meat?
Well, I mean, it's just marinating, man. Bacteria moves, whatever. Or you get on that thing, you get it cleaned.
Immediately.
You get the hide off, you keep it out of the dirt. Like, I'll start peeling down the meat, like on the femurs, because that's so thick, it'll start, you could throw it on ice, but maintaining heat by the bone, it'll still sour from the inside. So, like, you know, man, it's just like, treat it like it's high quality meat, which it is.
Yeah.
Get it cold fast. Keep it clean. Yeah. And dude, I'm telling you, it's like my favorite stuff in there, dude.
That's crazy.
I'll hook you up with some stuff, man. If you want, you can play with it, man, and make some sausage.
That'd
whatever.
be awesome.
Because there's plenty of it, dude. And yeah, I'd really be interested to see what you came up with, man. And especially, dude, what I really really like is taking aspects of stuff that a critter's eating.
Yeah.
With the preparation, right?
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, and you can process white oak acorns. It's like you got to like.
Oh, really?
You got to leach the tannins out of them. So you just like keep flushing them with water because they're bitter at first. But once you get that out, man, you can roast them. They taste like chestnuts or something.
I did not know you could eat acorns, or maybe I did. I just didn't know the process.
I mean, if you just picked one up and ate it, it would taste
be
like
gross,
crap. But if you leach it and
it'd be kind of cool to make a bear sausage with blueberries in it.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely.
Like a blueberry breakfast sausage.
Dried blueberries and snow goose actually make like a really wonderful summer sausage.
Oh, wow. So you've pretty much eaten almost everything at this point, huh?
I've eaten a lot of stuff. I mean, beavers. Beavers actually really, really good.
Yeah.
I like getting one or two of those.
Are those
a year.
greasy?
No.
Oh.
No. It's like they're completely vegetarian, man. It's like grass-fed beef.
Oh. Yeah, so they're pretty lean.
Coons.
Yeah.
I've eaten plenty of coons. Lots of birds and stuff.
What's coon like?
I'd say similar to bear.
Okay.
If you get now most of the time when you're if you're hunting a bear in the wintertime, their rut's like in June. So you're just dealing with an animal that's like doesn't have extra testosterone, it's just eating, right?
Yeah.
If you kill a boar.
Uh-huh.
When you're killing coons, it's in the winter, right? They rut in January. So if you kill a big old boar coon, like this dude's just hyped up. I feel like his glandular activity is a little more intense. So I feel like there can be a bit more of a wild taste depending on if it's a male or a female coon. I mean, it's perfectly good, and I've cooked it plenty, but if you put like coon, deer, and bear in me, I'd be like, in front of me, I'd be like bear, deer meat, coon meat.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm trying to think, nothing else really. I mean, catfish, buffalo fish, carp.
Yeah.
But nothing.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't eaten a possum yet.
Right. We haven't had to.
Yeah, and dude, every time I've skinned a possum, they've been so full of tapeworms.
Ugh.
I'm just like, man, I ain't got to do this, man. But, yeah, dude, and then lots of...
Squirrel.
Oh, yeah, squirrels for sure. I eat a lot of, like, hearts and liver and gizzards and...
Yeah. All
like
the muscles.
Squirrel hearts and stuff.
Yeah.
I would do. Not bird livers. I'll do. I'm not really big on like ungulate livers, like deer and stuff. Pig liver.
I used to eat deer liver when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, it's pretty strong tasting.
Yeah, I love liver though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I could hook you up if you want them, man. I'll give you those livers, dude. I've some testicles. I've eaten some testicles out of different critters.
Deer kind of freaks me out. Well, it freaks my wife out more than anything else. But
the idea of eating deer?
Yeah.
What? How so?
I don't.
Just unfamiliar?
I'm sure unfamiliar, and she assumes that it's going to be gamey before she eats it. I don't know. We're just not wild game people at this point.
Yeah, man. I'll hook you up with like some easy to slide into stuff.
Do you know Charlie Porter? Friend of mine. He's a deer hunter too, but he has given us that venison summer sausage.
Yeah.
That's the easiest thing to get people into.
Sure.
Gus liked that when he was a kid.
But see, and that's probably is he making that himself or is he taking it to the process?
Oh, he's taking it to the process.
Yeah, dude. You can get way, way, way better.
Oh, really?
Oh, dude. I mean, that's like, not to put anybody down, man, but that's like the Walmart of
I kind of figured
right?
that. I mean, my assumption is you're not getting your deer.
I think a lot of times.
Specifically.
I think a lot of times that could be true. I think a lot of times,
especially the sausage stuff.
Yeah, they get a ton of critters in. They say, okay, this thing weighed 100 pounds. That means it should yield 56 pounds. And I think they're kind of grinding in common sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like if you've got the animal that you found or you went out and got, right, and you know how it was processed, you know how it was taken care of, and you work through the steps. I mean, you can have something as good quality as any restaurant in the world could produce.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to be that creative or that smart to do cool stuff. Like I've been taking I took some like the roe sacks out of catfish I caught this summer.
Oh wow!
Right, and then just packing them in salt, just like curing them in the fridge, and then smoking them, going and getting the oak branches that fell down in my yard and smoking them with oak wood, right? And then you can just like take that and run it over a microplane and, fry some taters in some of that wild boar fat and then, grate that stuff on top.
So then that almost becomes like Parmesan. It's like a cured egg yolk.
Yeah. And you can do it different. Like I did mine real dry. So it's like hard. And if you just try to break it up, it would be crumbly. But so you got to get it fine. But yeah, you could do it to where it was a little, because like a cured egg yolk is often almost like cheese Parmesan cheese consistency.
Yep.
This stuff that I've got is even harder than that. But you can decide how you want it,
where you want it.
Or there's what's it called when you cure those? It's like if you cured mullets, roe sacks in Italy are called like
I can't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and they'll cure that often like in a softer kind of cure, and then slice it up and toss it with pasta. And but man, it's just
crazy Italian.
It's just it's just like salty and briny and You know, especially if you pair it with something bright like some lemon juice and, you know, like some sort of fresh kind of mild herb. It's cool, dude. And then, you know, you got the little floral from the pig or whatever. Or, dude, now that was something to be into is, you know, bear fat's a real thing. You render that bear fat down, fry stuff in bear fat. You can use them to make biscuits, bear cracklings. Like, I've done all that stuff, dude. They're good. And bear fat tastes just like pork fat.
Oh.
A bear tastes like a pig and a deer had a baby.
Oh, wow.
It's like red meat. Felt like the best thing to make on was like asabuco or something. Like I save all the shanks, cross cut them.
It's got to be huge, though.
No, it depends.
Okay.
Like a
size of the bear?
Dude, an average size female bear in Arkansas is like 125 pounds.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there are bears that are like 800 pounds, like in North Carolina or something, but, you know, a massive, you know, once in a lifetime kind of bear might be 500 pounds in Arkansas. But most of the time
they're smaller.
You're probably going to kill a bear that's sub 200 pounds. You know, it's just like chopping up a person, man. But anyway, so as far as, we'll wrap this up here in a second, but you were telling me that you'd only played a couple shows since COVID and all that hit, and then you've gotten back into it recently. What's your plan with that?
I don't really have a plan. I think I'm opening for James McMurtry.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
Dude, James McMurtry is the truth.
The shit, dude.
The son of Larry McMurtry.
Speaking of a grouchy motherfucker.
Is he?
Well, I've heard. I've never talked to him. I know that my buddy Brent down in Denton is buddies with him. And Brent was trying to get out of playing music and writing songs, and James was like, you can't do that. You know, just fucking scolded him. But so apparently he's a no-nonsense kind of guy, I should say, is what I've heard.
Amazing songwriter, dude.
Really good.
So in case folks don't know, his dad is Larry McMurtry, who wrote Lonesome Dove.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, yesterday, like literally yesterday, I told you I was coming back from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So I've been on the Chickasaw Indian Reservation.
Okay.
I stayed at this dude's house. He's a Chickasaw linguist and like duck hunter, and he like carves duck decoys and stuff.
Dang, man.
And so I did a podcast with him, and we were hunting, and like, you know, we're down in his basement doing the recording, like all his records. You know, he's got like Sturgill Simpson and like Wilco stuff, right? And I was like, oh, dude, like I can tell what you're into, right? Like I was like, I bet you'd be into this dude I'm recording tomorrow, man, Kevin Kerby. And so we're like driving to go duck hunting, and I'm like playing some of your stuff on Spotify, and then I said something about James McMurtry, and I was like, because Chickasaw Reservation is west, like the eastern side of the Chickasaw Reservation hits the western side of the Choctaw Reservation. Okay. So I'm telling them about that Choctaw bingo song.
Yeah.
Right, which is, and we're driving around, and there's all these, these bodark trees.
Right.
And so I'm like, bodark, Choctaw. I was like, oh, dude, there's this line in this.
This
James McMurtry song. But dude, that's a feather in the cap kind of.
Yeah. So Gus and I have opened for him before.
Oh, really?
And we didn't get to meet him. It was at Sticky's, and the sound there is a little bit. And Gus was little and nervous, and
because you used to play shows with your boy, and he'd play fiddle and you play guitar.
That's right. And so playing with him again. But Mulehead's playing Holiday Hangout. Other than that, man, I don't really have a plan. I mean, I just wanted to. Reason I played. What the pandemic has taught me is that none of this shit matters.
Sure.
None of it matters. I don't have to play shows. Like I was telling you before, I still like writing songs is the part of it I enjoy. Now, if I write a song and it just goes away, I don't give a shit. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I'm doing now. Like when I get into a period where I'm writing a lot, it's just like I'll write it, record it on my phone, and just forget it, and then just start stacking them back up. But so that's what it taught me, is it doesn't really matter. And then I realized that, oh man, I have a bunch of these new songs. It'd be fun to go play them at the Whitewater. Yeah. So that's why I did that. And I picked a Wednesday night, so it wasn't like interfering with my weekend. Mm-hmm. And charged $5 because they've been charging $10 at least for all the shows. $10 is the new $5.
Is it really, dude? I've been out of the game so long. $10 to get in.
$10, yeah.
Shit, dude.
Isn't that crazy?
Dude, yeah, that's wild. They used to complain about 5, man. I bet
No,
they
I
really
know.
don't like paying 10.
I know. But, and it's just a bunch of new kids. Like anything. I mean, I've been through so many crowds.
The folks
of
showing
people.
up there the folks showing up there to drink beer, like legit weren't alive when you started playing shows.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's true, and you're not even exaggerating.
No, like really,
It's
man.
truth. Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because these kids that there's always going to be kids that are totally into it, and then I'm not. It's going to sound like I'm bragging, but it's just kind of like there's going to be dudes that discover what I do.
Sure.
And that's pretty cool, but it's also kind of weird, that Mulehead had played for so long, like we would notice, like, all right, well, we've worked through this crowd. Now there's a different crowd coming to see us. Now there's another crowd coming to see us, and they would get progressively younger, then get older and start having kids and wouldn't come out
stop
as much.
showing up.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so as far as a plan, I don't really have one except just keep writing as good of songs as I can. That's about it. Just keep the old noggin lubed up.
What about painting? Are you still painting a bunch?
Not a bunch, but I'll do it. Like my sister likes my art, so I'll do stuff for her. And then I was doing like a series of Texas water towers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool.
That was pretty cool. So yeah, I paint when I want to. I made a giant corn dog cutout. Painted it.
I got some Kevin Kerby stuff in my
Yeah,
house.
you do. Oh man, shit! I should have brought those cardboard ones that I said I was going to give you a long time ago. Anyway,
it'll work, man.
it will. Yeah. But yeah, so I do that still. Set up. I kind of have an attic room where I can kind of do all that. So I sit up there and contemplate.
You know what I really think is, or what I'm taking from this is, I think, we're conditioned that the idea of success is like tied to fame, right?
Sure.
And so, you've had whatever, man. You've had like some brushes, or like, oh, like it looks like this is about to happen, right? Or we're going to Europe to record a record, and toured and played with people, and blah blah blah. And I used to think it was like resignation, the ability that someone would have to not tie their idea of success with notoriety. Right? Like I thought it was just someone being like, "Oh, it didn't work out, so
I'm going to readjust and call it this." Yeah.
I'm above all.
I get
of it,
that.
right?
I get that. Yeah. To retrofit the reasons that it's not working for you.
Sure. But yeah, I mean, dude, honestly, Kirby, dude, like that's what I'm struck by. Is like you sound so successful to me, man. You know what I've realized? Like, I realized this when I was at the, my ill-fated stint at the fire department.
Oh, right? Yeah, I forgot about that.
We didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
Ended up in the newspaper. But I remember, that's really like a very traditional job, right?
Yeah.
And so when I got that job, I remember telling somebody that, like, dude, I've never had the same job for longer than a year in my entire life. I was like 32, right?
Wow.
And they were like, what? And I realized that to them from their perspective, that was like failure, right?
Yeah.
But I look at it as a strength, right? Like, dude, I've like done all this stuff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I've been all these like weird places. Like, no, man, I never got like famous from playing songs or whatever, but like I sold some records in Australia when it was still hard to do that, right? Or like I played a couple shows in front of 500 people, and like maybe 400 of them weren't repulsed by it,
right?
Or like there's Now it's weird, man, because there's people that are like in their mid-30s that, and I've been out of like playing shows and stuff for a long time, but there's people that are nostalgic, like songs that I wrote,
Yeah.
whatever, when I was like 18 and rolling up drum cigarettes and just like, I just want to kiss this girl underneath the lamplight, right?
Back when you had the dreads.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
They called it sideshow bob hair. Like my first write up in Little Rock, they said the Whitewater door guy with the sideshow bob hair is playing his record release.
That's terrible.
Dude, it was a pretty fair description. But yeah, man, there's like there are touchstones for people, right?
Yeah.
That's not failure. Like that's actually contributing something to the fabric of maybe saying society, but like you just contribute something to somebody's world, somebody's existence, right?
Well,
it's not a TPS report.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, you're not wrong about that. Like by the larger picture, or maybe I'm saying this wrong, but I mean, like by industry standards, I'm not a success, but by a smaller standard, I am. I got to do a lot of shit that nobody gets to do.
Yeah, dude. That, you know what? That was the thought that I was having when I started talking about like talking to the dude at the fire department about not having the job. You know, that actually ends up being a rare thing. Like
It does.
You weren't a rock star, but you had moments where you knew what it felt like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's obviously that's not the ultimate validation, but it was cool, man.
But I also got to see what a ridiculous industry that was.
Yeah.
You know?
In many ways, very similar to, and I can only speak to like whatever the music industry was, 10 years ago, but I felt like it ended up being a good training ground for like the quote unquote outdoor hunting industry. Because that's an industry that works a lot of pain with quote-unquote exposure.
Oh, yeah.
Or like
it's kind of the same thing.
Gear.
Yeah.
Or like the potential to make a name for yourself.
Yeah.
And it's like a handful of entities that could just like eat you up and spit you out or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I've maintained kind of a contrarian streak.
That's good.
Within it,
Well, what helps on the music side of it is you were talking about it used to be that you had to get signed to get into a studio.
Yeah.
Now you don't.
Yeah, you can
Everybody's
just do
got a studio on their computer, on their phone.
Yeah,
even.
GarageBand on your iPhone's better than 4 tracks.
Yeah. I mean, I would probably feel if I were an engineer or something, I'd be like, psh, come on.
Sure.
Because I kind of feel that way about digital photography versus film. But it's like when you start talking about that, you sound like an asshole.
Yeah.
But it's the same idea, Like these guys went through a bunch of shit to learn to do what they're doing. And then here's this machine that just does it for you. You still have to be good. I mean, the songs still have to be good. As they always have. But and again, I mean, like you said, nobody buys physical copies of shit anymore. I mean, I spend a bunch of money at Control down here, the
record store,
vinyl store. But that's more like, that's just funsies, Like, I remember this record, I had it when I was a kid. And then my kids like to go there and buy stuff. I don't know how much money I've spent on records for her room that she just puts on the wall. It's like, you're not going to listen to it? She said, no, it's on my phone. That's where I listen to everything. Damn. All right. You like it, I love it, I guess.
Dude, that's what kind of records are you buying for?
Oh, Taylor Swift's mostly.
Oh, really? They put that stuff out on vinyl?
Oh, yeah. Oh, vinyl's huge now, man. Everybody's putting stuff out on vinyl right now. It's kind of the number one, I would assume. It's like a niche market, You can make like a deluxe, like gatefold and colored vinyl and booklets and stuff. I mean, Wilco just re-released Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, 11 LPs, a huge book, $250. And I almost bought it. And then my wife's like, what if?
Yeah, this is why you got to go to business
What if it's
school,
not good?
Kirby. If you want to sell frankfurters, man, you got to take your butt to business school.
And then, I went down there talking to Wes that owns it. He's like, there's like a 2 LP $35 version of that, and it's just the record. You already know the record's good.
Yeah.
Like those 11 LPs probably going to be a bunch of demo versions of shit over and over again.
Sure.
Like that's a good point. Thanks for talking me off the ledge, everybody.
Do you think will you make another record?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the plan. Jeff, my drummer, that also played guitar in Battery, plays drums in Mulehead. It's his studio that I record at, and he wants to make another record with me. But everybody's life is so busy right now. Sulak, Sulak?
Yeah.
Sulak is making a record with 50 songs on it.
Is he really?
Jeff's in the middle of that, and I was like, boy, you stepped in that one,
Dude,
buddy.
that's some Sulak stuff to do,
Yeah, it
man.
is, right?
Dude, that's kind of what I'm talking about, man. The world needs Sulaks, dude.
Absolutely.
Like legit. And look, this is super esoteric if you aren't from Little Rock. Hell, if you aren't from Little Rock and you aren't probably over 35, you might not know who Sulak is. But, like, dude, Sulak
used to be the kid, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He was younger than all of us. And he just kept at it and kept at it and kept at it.
And he kept it real, man. Like
he does not care whether you like it or not. He's going to keep doing it. He just had an art show last Saturday down at Gallery 26. And he showed me a picture of it. And it's just wall-to-wall stuff. He got remarried, and his wife is, like, helping him get his stuff out there on the internet and, like, making like enamel pins of his artwork and stuff. So I mean, he's
Dude,
in the right place.
That's the common thread, man. Like,
yeah.
Honestly, there's a million artistic dudes with potential.
Sure.
A lot of them that are successful, like, luck into finding the right lady.
Yeah. And they're like, let's do something with all this bullshit.
Dude, I've done a lot. I have squandered most of the opportunities in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I've been with Marianne for it's been 16 years.
There's that self-destruction again.
Dude, yeah. But November 7th, it was 16 years Marianne and I've been together,
wow.
man. And, like, that is absolutely the peak of it's like I didn't screw that up in spite of myself.
Yeah.
Or probably not in spite of myself, just because, like, whatever. Because of her.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, that's a thing. I mean, like, your wife's had, like, a good, stable job, right?
Yep.
Gave you some room to you had a longer leash than you would have had.
Yep.
Well, good for Sulak, man. I don't know. I bet if you Google Sulak,
you could probably find
Sulak.
Sulak art stuff is his Instagram.
Okay, yeah. Check that out, Sulak. I've got some Sulak stuff hanging in the house, man.
Yep.
Well, shit, yeah, man. I hope you do make another record, man. And
well, that's the plan. I just don't know when. It's like I told him. I'm like, I'm not in any hurry to make a record that nobody wants to hear.
Yeah, but
or
I don't know, man. I think if you got a record in you, you should make the record.
Well, of course I'm going to. I mean, it's fun. I like designing the cover and all that kind of shit, But I don't know if I want to just have another box of CDs at my house sitting there.
Dude, I looked up a couple weeks ago. I looked up like how much it would cost to get like 200 records pressed. It ain't cheap, man.
No. No, in fact, Max, the label that puts out my records, like, we were prepared to do a vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
And then he started like going to it and looking it up, and he's like, we can't do vinyl. We're gonna have to do CD.
Dude, he got that architecture money, man.
Well, yeah, but he's also got 3 kids.
Yeah. Everything can't be a passion project.
That's right.
Yeah, no, I get it.
He's got to make some money off something.
Dude, yeah, I say, man, make the record. I do think that in the next, whatever, little bit, I'll make a record. And I don't think that anyone will listen to it.
Tell you what I'd love to do is, so do you know that guy Pete from the Water Liars? Justin Peter Kinkelschuster? fucking great dude. He lives up in Fayetteville.
That's the guitar player dude?
Yeah.
Yeah. Glasses, yeah.
Yeah, good buddies with Matt. But he's offered, he's like, you need to come up here. He's got like a studio in his house. But it's like a cassette studio, but like a big like board and stuff. Like
reel to reel and stuff?
No, like cassette.
Oh.
So like this is, 80s technology. So apparently you buy a nice enough tape, you can still find it out there. And he made a record, and he made, 12 songs. About 12 separate, like, super nice cassettes. It's crazy the way he's doing it, because you think about a 4-track. It's noisy, and it's not great.
Yeah.
But his record sounds amazing. That's how they did it for a while. Cassette was, like, the thing. I mean, I guess it was, like, a home demo thing, but like anything else, there's tricks to make it sound good. His record, he did his record in his studio, and it sounds really great.
Dude, I've thought about this for years, man. Would you ever? So I feel like the house show is like doesn't really exist anymore. Or does it?
Yeah, I
don't think it's as big a thing.
It's not. It was kind of the deal for a while. I mean, Dave Bazan was doing it, Will Johnson, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I've played a few of them,
dude. I'd always, ever since I built the place, man, I've always wanted to have you up at the Lodge to do like a house show, dude.
Where is the Lodge?
Brinkley.
Okay, yeah. So
like
on the way to Memphis.
Yeah, 80 miles away.
Yeah,
man.
I'd love to do that.
Dude, that'd be fun, dude.
Yeah.
We'll figure something out, because I would really love to make that happen, man. I think that we've had this big rambling conversation. You got a bunch of records on Spotify.
Yeah.
So it'd be Kevin Kerby.
Mm-hmm. And then Mulehead.
Kirby with an E.
Yep.
Mulehead. Is Battery on there?
Yeah, but that'll be under Kevin Kerby.
Okay, Kevin Kerby and Battery.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff out there. There's I don't know if you ever heard that Mulehead record. I was going through, because I played yesterday. That's why we didn't get together yesterday, but I played it in the Heights, and I was going, man, I haven't played in so long, I can't even remember my song. So I was going through Spotify, and I forgot that Mulehead made a recording of their last show and put out a live record just on Spotify.
Yeah.
Called Alkified. But it's pretty good.
When was it? When did you record that?
I don't know. But like the year we broke up the first time. What year is it now? I don't know. Let's look it up. But I forgot about it. I mean, there's all this stuff on there. It's like you say, you do stuff so long ago, you forget. Like, Matt White was, like, quoting some lyrics from a song that I thought I'd never recorded. It's like, this dude listens. But it's on one of my records that I forgot about.
Dude, I actually, I hollered at, Thick Syrup Records.
Oh, Travis.
Yeah, Travis McElroy. Thick Syrup had put out my records.
2006 is when that record came out.
God, man, that's a long time ago.
That's a long time ago.
But yeah, man, I called McElroy maybe like a year ago, and I was like, hey, man, because I had like solo records and I had like Reparations records and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I think I just don't want them on. I don't want them floating around on the internet. Like, I like the fact that it's something that happened, and like there are maybe, there's probably less than 1,000 people that maybe still in the bottom of some drawer have a CD, and just kind of let it exist like that.
I love that feeling. I love that.
Unless it needs to exist. Like, man, there's a few songs I would. There's probably 10 or 15 songs out of those I would still play if I ever played a show for somebody. But I like the yearbook kind of idea of it.
Yeah.
Like that's a moment. That was the best I could do when I did it.
That's what it was. That's my senior photo. That's my photo from that year. Yeah.
And then I peace out, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get into, like, a lot of people ask me, like, I mean, how did you get into doing this? And it's, like, cooking coons is directly linked to playing guitar. Because from 18 to 29 or 30, like, not 18, probably 16 to about 30. Only thing I cared about was writing songs and playing and, like, trying trying to get
on
some,
a stage.
Yeah, trying to get to some point, some imagined point, real or imagined. And to do that meant I had to work jobs that I could quit or would let me off. And so that was, I worked in restaurants and I did construction.
That's right.
Right? And like those two things, working in restaurants and doing construction, have influenced everything that's ever happened in my entire adult life.
Yep. I remember my first job at Brahms. I just remember thinking, I got to get out of this industry. I was 16.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been trying to get out of it ever since, but you know, finally have just surrendered to where it's like, it's not really that bad.
No, man.
I've learned how to do stuff.
And if you're doing stuff that you find
think is cool,
dude. And I mean, if we're being real, like cooking has some social gravitas.
It's kind of the same feeling when you give somebody a taste of something that you've made, and they're like, oh my God, you know. It's the same feeling as if when you play a song that somebody likes.
Dude, it's wrecking all of that shit. And I've said this before. All of that stuff, cooking food, writing songs, you know, holding court at a bar after the bar's closed, right?
Yep.
Right? I've seen you running the you know, you're pulling the strings on something like that before. That's ultimately, man, all of that shit is storytelling. Right?
Yeah.
And so there is this, if you're telling stories, there's this validation you're seeking that someone is because you're really trying to get someone to understand you on some level, right?
Oh, wow, yeah.
And so if you can make something, and it's not just they like the taste, but like they get a little, they get what you're stepping in, right? They smell what you're stepping in.
Yep.
It's the same thing, dude. So it's validating in the same way.
Absolutely.
And I think it sticks with people the same way. Smells, like I was talking about, like Granny's biscuits. They transport you to something. Melodies do the same thing, man. You know, someone's mannerisms.
You know what's so funny is I talk about this all the time. Like, the thing I like about music is this feeling that I can't define, and I can't feel it anymore. It's like the first time you hear, I always use 7 seconds, like that drum sound, you know, or like the first time I heard a Ray Charles record that my dad had, or you know, Merle Haggard, whatever it is, like that first time you hear something that touches you, you know, and then it's a lifetime of chasing that shit. And you find it, and sometimes you see it out of the corner of your eye, and as soon as you turn, it's gone. It's the same thing with food. It's the same thing with, I don't know. Maybe it's all just you're just being sappy. You just want, you know, you want that. You're chasing that first feeling.
Dude, I think you're chasing contentment, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like my life has been defined largely by being discontent. And then there's these moments, right? It's when you work out a song and you're like, oh, that's right?
Yeah.
Or you play it to people and you see the collective. You know, like there's a way that like a group of people that are engaged in it, like they move collectively, right? And you get this moment of satisfaction and
together,
feeling content. Or like that you were able to elicit the response or the taste or something you were looking for out of a meal you prepared.
Yeah.
You get that. It's that little bit of, you can kind of like let the breath out. I feel like I'm always holding my breath, and every once in a while, it's what brought me into like hunting and stuff, man, is there's a lot of moments when you get to let your breath out and you just get to be for a minute, and it feels like an incredibly authentic moment, right? And then you fall back into all the other stuff, right? But yeah, I mean, I really would say ultimately all of that stuff is storytelling, and it's
that's a pretty good way of putting it.
The desire to be recognized as a good storyteller.
Pretty good way to put that. Yeah.
And dude, straight up, man, Kevin Kerby is one of the best storytellers I've ever encountered. Wonderful songwriter, accomplished sausage maker. And
still working on it, yeah.
I still stand by the fact I say the poet laureate of Little Rock, Arkansas. Which, I mean, what a thing to say, especially when you don't. A place as insular and dare I say incestuous as Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yeah.
To come from somebody else and to kind of be able to hold that moniker for, I don't know, man, a couple decades, really, dude. I mean, that's saying something, dude. And, man, like, you've raised cool kids.
Yeah.
You've raised accomplished kids, man.
I've had a lot of help with that.
Dude, you've been married for 30 years,
30
man.
years, yeah.
Dude, sounds successful to me, Kirby. But anyway, really, dude, please check out Kirby's music. My absolute favorite song is This Town Smells Like Paper Mills and Broken Wills. Everything on that record is really good.
It's a pretty good one.
The Secret Life of All Night Radios is a really good record. Man, what's the name of that, like, after you made those records, you did that, it's like mostly acoustic record. It's like the first
Apostles' Tongues, yeah.
Yeah, the first one that Gus played on.
Yeah, he was 10 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Todd Bean plays on that too.
Dude,
Plays pedal
really?
steel, yeah.
I've talked to him a couple times because, like, hunting, he's, like, come across me.
Oh, wow.
He plays that Chuck Reagan guy.
Yeah.
And Chuck Reagan is actually, he's like a musician, and then when he's not touring, he's a professional fly fishing guy.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was just like on some, do you know what, was it Orvis? No, do you know what Filson is? Filson is this old outdoor brand. It's like, have you ever seen like wax jackets and like tin pants and stuff?
Yeah.
It's like kind of like
old school.
Yeah, and like high end and stuff. Chuck Reagan was just like in a campaign for Filson or something like a year ago or something. But yeah, I talked to Todd not too long ago. Fantastic steel guitar player.
Yeah,
he's still doing it, ain't he?
Great dude. Yeah, he's still touring. He puts up pictures.
Yeah. Anyway, so check Kirby out. You got a website anymore?
No.
What's your Instagram?
Pulaski Daddy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's a great title. Or you can come see, if you're in Little Rock, come see.
Come
Kirby.
get a sandwich. Come get some sausages.
You can come get the Kevin Kirby.
That's right.
He's got his own sandwich named after him.
I'll cut you a big thick steak too.
There you go. And yeah, I'll definitely do it. I'm gonna hook you up with some wild game, dude.
Sweet.
Hey, thanks everybody for listening. Until next time. Hey everybody, thank you so much for listening all the way through to this most recent episode of the Black Duck Revival podcast. As always, it's produced and brought to you by me, Jonathan Wilkins, and Brian Sachs. If you want to keep up with what I've got going on and what I'm doing, my hunting travels, the cooking, the writing, whatnot, you can do that over on the website, which is blackduckrevival.com. or the Instagram page. That handle is just Black Duck Revival. I've got one spot left on that New Year's Eve hunt experience. We'll be chasing geese, cooking really good food, and hopefully learning some stuff, hanging out with some really cool people. So if you're interested in that, you can hit me up on Instagram, or better yet, shoot me an email at blackduckrevival@gmail.com, and we can get all that stuff worked out. If you're enjoying the podcast, please continue to tell people about it, share it with your friends, maybe even occasionally post about it on social media. If you have not done so, please head on over to Apple Podcast and leave us a 5-star review, hopefully, or a written review. That helps tremendously. It helps get us in the algorithm, and it just kind of is like a legitimizing thing, so that when people do come across the podcast, they see that we have a listenership who is into what we're doing. So thank you in advance for all of that. We'll be back next week. Until then.